It's a huge homage to manga. It's a huge homage to anime. It's a huge homage to kaiju eiga. To all the Japanese movies of Honda or Tsuburaya. And the movie, as you saw at the end, is dedicated to Honda and Harryhausen. It also is a huge influence to a magazine I grew up with, which was heavy metal. Angus MacKay, Richard Corbin, all the wild colors, Mobius. And I wanted to create a movie that, even although it was science fiction, nominally felt like a fantasy. And I think that's a key difference in the way I approach the movie. You can see it, the colors, the aspect of it is closer to a fantasy. The sequence with Mako as a child with a little red shoe is closer to a fantasy than a science fiction. I love the Jaegers and the Kaijus like children, but I do have a favorite or two. My favorite of the Jaegers, aside from Gypsy Danger, which is the principal, is the Russian Jaeger, Cherno Alpha, because he looks almost retro. It looks like a boiler or a nuclear reactor with legs, and I find him endearing. And Leatherback, the big gorilla-like kaiju that has a big beer belly, is my favorite because he is a brute, but he seems to be almost, to me, he's almost cute. I adore them. And I love the idea that the movie is all about characters, human characters, but also the robots and the monsters are not just robots and monsters, but they have a very definite personality. Maria from Metropolis, the B9 from Lost in Space, Robbie the Robot, Tetsujin 28 from the anime, from Japanese anime, the suits in Pat Labor, and so on and so forth. And there's many of my favorite robots and so. Although it's not a robot, Robocop or Terminator, I'm a big fan of robots. My favorites are probably Harryhausen, Honda, and the Universal Monsters and Hammer films. That's my top pantheon of monsters right there. I would be Cherno Alpha, because there's no escape pod. They cannot escape. He's a robot that has huge conviction, and when he fails, everything's over. He puts great faith in the possibility of doing the task. I feel that 3D gave the movie a lot of sense of depth. It was too much work to do it. I really, frankly, would have used a couple more weeks. If I do it again, I'll do it even more longer. We put over 40 weeks of work into the, but I think that the 3D you see in the movie is very fine, very elegant, very beautiful, and it doesn't feel like conversion at all. If there is enough audience to do the sequel, I would love to then do a lot of ideas that Travis and I talked about, but we didn't do on this one. You can explore the drift between two pilots more, which is a very fascinating idea. Imagine that you're married to a pilot that you drift with. There's absolutely, you need to trust each other completely. Every secret. It's really compelling an idea. Look, I wanted to make a movie that was beautiful, not only because of the spectacle of the fights, but about characters and story. So at the same time, a movie that is very light, that you can go as a family and enjoy as a family, and that has a beautiful message about what it is to be human, even if that message is delivered with robots and monsters.